So we live in an attraction-based universe, meaning the world brings to us everything that we focus on and think about. We are creating our reality through this law of attraction that exists. It's just like the law of gravity, it's there. Whether you think about it or know about it or understand it or not, it is there. Everything that you are thinking about, you are drawing to yourself. So anytime that you make a statement about something, about yourself, about your current conditions, your world, your reality, your universe will always show you proof that that exists. So when you make a statement like, I'm broke, or life is hard, or things just never work out for me, you are going to unconsciously go out into the world and you are going to see those things and you're going to see proof of that being true. And the same is true for the opposite. You can say the opposite. You can say things always work out for me. I am so blessed. I am so lucky. Life is always easy. I always get my way. And you can say things like that. You could think things like that. And then when you go out into your world, you will find proof of that. That's how it works. You could do a little, you can do a little game with yourself. I've done this before. You think about a specific car. For example, I got this out of a book that I read and I did the experiment. And she said, think about a beige car. Imagine beige car, just like a tan colored car, and think about it and write about it and put some focus and some thought into beige cars. And then go out into the world and notice how many of them you see. And I am not even kidding you. When I did this, not only I went out, which I have probably never seen a beige car before, never really noticed any beige cars ever. All of a sudden, I am out and about. I'm seeing beige cars everywhere, just seeing them everywhere. And I'm just like, okay, I get it. Like, it's a thing, it works too, like when you buy a new car, right? Like if you buy a new Honda Civic, all of a sudden you see Honda Civics everywhere. You never saw them really before because you didn't think about it, so you didn't bring it into your line of focus, right? Anyhow, I'm driving around, I'm seeing all these beige cars everywhere, like for the first time ever. But then something happened that literally gave me chills. I still have chills right now just thinking about it. I was exiting off the ramp of the highway to get to my house, and in front of me there was a string of beige cars. There was like 7 of them, like all in front of me on the exit ramp, just like boom, 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 boom. Every single car was beige, and then I was behind them, and it literally felt like it was the weirdest feeling, because I knew in that moment that I was witnessing the law of attraction firsthand. That's exactly how it works. What you seek, you will find, right? So, but what's important to note, and when you're doing this sort of for the first time, it feels like a lie, because when you say something that you don't really believe, it's going to feel like a lie to you. Like if you say to yourself, I am wealthy, I am happy, I am joyous, I am happy-go-lucky, everything always works out for me, and you say that, but that doesn't feel like what you're currently living, it's going to feel like a lie. And this is where people say, well, it doesn't work. Because if it feels like a lie to you, and as you're saying it, you're not believing it, and your emotions are not behind it, it's not going to show itself to you because you're actually not believing it. So just saying something, but not really having an emotion behind it, an emotion of faith and belief, you'll do the opposite. So your belief, your emotion, how you feel about it really, really matters. So if you can't get behind saying something that feels untrue, like if you say something, if you say like, oh, I'm so wealthy, I'm so rich, and I just have everything that I've ever wanted, and saying that almost feels like pain, like it almost feels like, I'm so wealthy, and it's painful to you because you want it so bad, but you so much at the same time don't believe it or don't see it. Don't do that. You're on the wrong path. You're not going to attract what you're saying because your belief isn't behind it. Okay, so instead of saying things that feel like lies, what you want to do is start to ask questions. When you ask a question to the universe brings you answers. When you make a statement to the universe shows you that your statement is accurate. Whatever your statement is, you will find the proof that you are right. You always will be right. You are always right. Any stance you take on any position, on anything ever, you are right. And your circumstances will align in a way to prove to you that you are right every single time. So instead of making statements so that you can find proof of your statement being right, why not ask questions instead? Instead of saying, I am wealthy or I am broke, right? Instead of saying those statements, start with a question. Say, what could I be or do right now? What could I be or do that would make me more money than I've ever made before? And it's just a question that you're just now asking for some answers to. And the funny thing is, like, your higher self, your true higher self, is always there with you, wanting to guide you, wanting to show you the way, wanting to show you those answers to your questions. But without you saying and making a statement and saying the answer, now you actually have the possibility of finding an answer, of the answer coming to you. So you say a question like that, or you say, what could I be or do right now to have the best body I've ever had in my life? What could I be or do right now to be the healthiest I've ever been in my life? What could I be or do right now that would bring me the best relationships that I've ever had in my life? Okay, so that's the types of questions that you want to be asking. Another thing that you can ask is when something shows up for you that's great, that's good, right? Something shows up for you. You find a penny on the ground. That's a sign of abundance. No matter how small and insignificant that little penny might seem to you, it is a sign of abundance. And whether or not you bend down and pick that penny up and say thank you, or whether or not you just step over and say, that's just a penny, that's meaningless, that will make all the difference of how much more abundance you will attract into your life. But instead of now picking up that penny and saying, oh my gosh, the universe is blessing me with this abundance, thank you for this abundance, that's good. But what's better is to ask, how can it get better than this? So you pick up the penny, you say thank you, you acknowledge the abundance that you're receiving in that moment, but then you ask, how can it get better than this? And you wait and you watch for those answers. Now, one last thing, how do you know when you're getting answers? How do the answers come? How do you know if they're the correct, good answers coming up from source, from God, from your highest self? And how do you know when you're self-sabotaging yourself and it's actually just coming from you and your ego self, right? Not your highest self. The way that you know if something is truth or a lie is if it makes you feel happy, joyful, and light. It's the truth. It's the truth of truths. It's the truth from God, from source, from the angels, from the universe, from everything that is. Whatever makes you feel happy and light is the truth. Whatever makes you feel heavy and down is a lie. If I was to tell you that you are beautiful, if I said, you're just so beautiful, you're the most beautiful person I've ever seen, you would immediately smile, and that would make you feel light and happy. Unless, of course, you didn't believe it, you might have doubt, but it would make you feel happy. If somebody complimented you on the way that you're acting or the way on your appearance, it makes you feel happy. Why? Because that's the truth. That is the ultimate truth. That's the way God sees you. God sees you perfect in His image. You are perfect in His image, made from his image in perfection, and God will always see you as perfect, no matter what. Even when you're at your worst, you are perfect in the eyes of God. That is why when somebody compliments you, it always feels good to you. But if someone was to walk up to you and say, something mean, something negative about your appearance or about your personality, it would put a heaviness on you and it wouldn't feel good. And so that's how you know. So as you're going about through your day, and when you ask these questions and you receive some intuition, or you receive an idea, or you receive an inkling, if it makes you feel joyous and light, it's the truth. And if it makes you feel heavy and sad, it means you're getting in your way. If you have faith, if it feels like it's coming, if it feels like it's already on its way, if it feels so good, so exciting, like it's not here yet, but you feel it kind of brewing, then it's the truth. But if you're feeling doubt, if you're feeling, oh, I don't know, this is probably just in my head, I'm probably just making this up, lies. Try it. Ask more questions. Questions are the answer to get you everything that you want. Ask more questions. And if you make a statement, make the statement that is the positive statement. Always the positive statement, the statement of what you want. Your focus is what brings you what you want. Words have power. Use them carefully.